See, this is the problem. We don't have it. We don't have the star X factor. What we need more midgets. Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Tristan.
And I'm Adrian, and we are Utmost Hip Hop.
Today we're gonna be reviewing Eminem's new album, Kamikaze.
Let's get started.
So it honestly came to quite a shock that when Eminem's album just randomly dropped, I didn't even know about it until like a day later when I was hearing all about it on different platforms. It was honestly super crazy that it just came and no one really had too much of a clue to it.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of had a feeling he was gonna put out like one more album,
And I know you did mention it in our other one when we were talking about Revival.
right? But I did not expect it to be that soon. Like he just had an album out, and
Exactly.
now he has this surprise album that came out of nowhere.
I mean, you think about it with like the timetables Eminem has between his albums, usually 2 to 3 years. The Marshall Mathers LP came out in about 2012, 2013-ish. Then Revival, the next album, obviously came out last year. I mean, that's like a 4 year difference. Before then was Recovery in 2010, I believe. So that's another few year difference. So he usually has a lot of time in between them, which was so shocking. But I guess that explains why the album was so short, 13 tracks, which I think is ideal, honestly. I hate the ones that are super 20
Yeah,
kind of tracks.
where it sounds more like a mixtape, and there's a lot of filler tracks in there.
Exactly,
Which
exactly. A lot of experimental stuff often.
Yeah, which this is one thing that I enjoyed about the album Kamikaze is there was no filler tracks. He did bring back the Paul skit, which I liked,
I totally fanned out when I heard that
but there
the
was
first time.
yeah,
reading
but
that.
there was no just like filler tracks or interlude tracks or just what I would consider like a throwaway track that was not as good that they just put in there because they want to have 20 plus tracks
Exactly,
on an
exactly.
album.
Honestly, the reason why I think, because I'm in love with this album. This is a great album. I was super pleased when I heard it. Um, why I think it sets itself apart from, like, let's say Revival. They both have the similar kind of style, similar kind of vocals. The flow could be super similar, same kind of feeling to it. However, what sets it different is Eminem is Slim Shady again in this album. He has the fire in his eyes. He has the heat in the stomach. I don't even know if that makes any sense, but he has it. And that's what sets it apart from like a Revival. And that's why songs like "Oh" in Revival, "I'm such a good father but such a bad husband," and how I said a lot of Eminem fans don't really care what he has to say anymore. But when he came back with this, I listened. He demanded our attention immediately, and that's why this is an amazing album. And Revival was very subpar.
Yeah, I mean, I actually liked Revival, um, and I probably liked this album a little more than Revival. Um, he had some personal tracks in there, but he definitely brought back Slim Shady a lot more
Oh yeah, so there
than
is something I want to
previous.
bring up on that point. So I was kind of viewing the perception of this album,
Mm,
no pun intended, because it was about NF, and the line where we're suspecting that it's an NF disc when he says an
right.
NFing recovery clone. Um, I heard a couple sources
What
mention.
what 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 track was that on?
I was on the first track,
The
Ringer.
first track.
Yeah, I was on
Okay,
Ringer.
that's right. Yeah.
So I heard a couple people mention, like, I don't know why he's going at him, because obviously he goes at people that deserve it, like MGK and
Hmm.
other people that have dissed him, Tyler the Creator, and other artists that have
Right.
gone against him. But NF was just such a super unproblematic artist, and they're like, why is Eminem going at him?
I
But I
don't.
think that's just so against what Slim Shady actually is. I would compare it to, think of the song "The Real Slim Shady" when he disses Will Smith.
Will Smith don't got a cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do. So fuck him and fuck you too.
It's the thing of, it's just he goes at people, deserving or undeserving, and that's the Slim Shady kind of experience that you get, and that's why I don't think that critique's valid whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what he's known for is going after people. I don't think that he's I would not consider it him dissing NF. I would more consider it I don't think he was dissing
He was
him.
definitely he called him a recovery clone. That's definitely dissing him
Well,
off by him style.
he's a clone.
He used to be a
He's just
clone.
I think it's more him just recognizing um I know who this guy is and he's obviously has a style that's almost identical to mine.
Well, I mean, if that was the case, and he would have included it when he said, I brought on the Hobsons, the Logics, or when he all mentions those. Speaking of that, Hobson's reaction was quite interesting. What do you think about that initially when you first saw it?
Yeah, he totally flipped out.
Don't tell me about the culture. I inspire the Hobsons, the Logics, the Coles, the Sons, the Chaos, the... Whoa!
He was just like, oh, he knows who I am. I didn't think Eminem just name
I love
dropped
the
me.
end where he's like, "I gotta call my mom."
And I gotta call my mom.
Like,
Yeah.
just that was. It was honestly, it was fun to see that how like inspirational that Eminem is on certain artists, specifically Hobson, because obviously he was highly influenced by him.
Right. Yeah, so that's the one thing I actually noticed about the album that speaks a lot about Eminem because he's not just like a rap guy who's made it and he's not involved in the game. He doesn't there's certain guys that reach a certain level that it's almost as if they don't listen to rap music anymore. They're not about hip hop. They're not about the culture. I feel like Eminem is still involved in the culture, not just as
I mean,
a
that had
participant, but also a fan. Because if he's out there listening to artists, if he's out there listening to
Joyner, J.
yeah,
Cole, Kendrick, and
right.
Big Sean were the specific ones he dropped. I'm sure there's other ones.
right? But not only that, but he knows who Hobson is. He knows who NF is, which not a lot of people know who NF is. So it's like he listens to hip hop music. He's out there listening. He
His
knows
ears
who's-
to the street, if you
ears
will,
to
yeah.
the street. He knows who's out there.
And speaking of him, kind of commenting on the current rap game, what do you think about the specific disses towards everyone with Lil in their name that are copying Lil Wayne, the Lil Xans, the Lil Pumps, and how do you think he formatted it, and how do you think that contributed to the album?
Yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't feel like it's a direct diss. I think there's one where he said, was it Little Yachty?
Yeah.
Where he's like, he even says he's like, this is not a diss. I just don't like the guy, or I just don't like his
Yeah,
his
it's
music.
just not for him.
It's just not for me. And I think that's kind of what it was. Besides him going after,
I think it's undeniable to say he definitely goes after specific
yeah,
people.
besides him going after specific people, there's also I just don't like that style of music, the trap music. I think that was the whole vibe of him speaking of all the.
Oh yeah, and
the
then
little-
also he speaks on how easy it is to copy that specific flow and how much he hates he called it choppy flow, which I know we kind of familiarize ourselves with that term as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, as you know from previous videos, we are not really fans of trap music or mumble rap or whatever you want to call it. Some of it is okay, but that's not something I listen to.
It's a side. It's not a main chorus. It could be a tool on a chorus
Yeah.
on a few bars. For
It's
example,
overdone. It's definitely
for example,
overdone.
like you see Joyner Lucas. I commented on this a few times where he can bring in like a choppy kind of flow, and I believe he does on Lucky You.
That's
and he uses that in his repertoire to enhance the
and that's
experience.
fine. But that's the one thing that is holding me back from Joyner Lucas. I think Joyner Lucas has amazing technical skill, but I just don't like some of the styles that he brings. I don't know, maybe because I don't want to say just because it's a modern style, but I feel like it's a modern style that's overused in hip hop right now. Everybody wants to sound like that. Everybody wants to sound the same.
well, because like
Joyner
Eminem said,
Lucas-
it's easy to.
It's easy. It's
It doesn't take a
It's
certain amount of.
lazy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty much lazy. That's the one thing when Joyner Lucas does that, I'm not really liking it. There's one part on that track. What was it? The second,
third one, Lucky You.
Yeah, Lucky
Yeah.
You, third track, where Joyner Lucas does that fast flow that he does, that super fast flow.
Yeah, and I love the versatility from him. Why I like the the stop and go. I guess what we would call choppy flow.
Right.
And the more smooth.
I just like when he does the fast flow. I can appreciate him more when he's doing that.
So more of a.
But
Okay.
I understand.
So how do you feel about, for example, we both know Khan. How do you feel about him constantly having the fast flow?
Okay, I mean, I like his fast flow, but I can understand not wanting to always have a fast flow and
Exactly.
just be known for that.
Right. Not saying he doesn't. He spits. He's wild.
Right.
But
I can-
versatility is super
Right.
important.
I can
in any
understand.
song.
I can understand that, but I don't know. It just you know the level of the person of the skill of that rapper when he can come up with a flow that's innovative, that it's out of nowhere, that's no one's ever heard, and you're just like, what is this guy like? Like it's just new. It's just new. It's different. It's creative. Again, what I always say, creative. But I think, yeah, I mean, Joyner brings that a little bit here and there. I mean, this is not really a Joyner review, but I'm probably not. Oh, I'm definitely not a huge as a big Joyner fan as you are. I can appreciate him. I can appreciate his skill, and I did like him.
508-507-2209.
Yeah,
I think that's the number.
Yeah, I know 1-800 mixed a lot. I did appreciate his feature on the album though. I liked it. They worked good together.
He definitely did shine on it for sure.
It did feel like a Joyner song. Eminem kind of went with that Joyner style as well. His flow was a little
He definitely had
different.
some more modern styles throughout the album. He definitely changed it up. He definitely went back to the drawing board with this album, and I think it definitely worked. And then going back to the roots of having that Slim Shady persona.
Yeah, and I think and that's what I said, and that's what I liked about the I can't remember the name, but the one track on his previous album, Framed, was it Framed?
Framed, yeah.
Framed, where it was like it felt like the old Eminem just having fun and just being Slim Shady, and he brought that back on this album.
What was it where it was like, it wasn't me, or whatever he said?
Yeah, I mean, it was. We saw that in this.
We definitely saw a glimpse of it on that album. There was
Yeah.
definitely some good ones. However, the concept, the energy, the persona wasn't there, and that's why this album is so far superior. Getting away from
that's where we disagree. I don't think it's so far superior. I really like the direction that he was starting to go in Revival.
he definitely has more of an abstract kind of sound to him than he did before.
And now I think he took it a step further.
Definitely, I would agree.
He's going in the right direction.
Right.
But I don't think it's leaps and bounds above. It's not like it's a good album. It's a solid good album.